Mr. Secretary, on Cuba, two questions. So, for decades, you have been a proponent of regime change, but now there seems to be a sense that perhaps President Trump would be happy with a win, which would only entail an economic deal.
So where do you?
So which
there's
one?
A sense,
There is a lot of reporting that leads me to my second question.
No. Any reporting on Cuba that you didn't get from me or the president is a liar.
Okay, well,
they're the only people working on it.
Do you still want regime change?
I'm just warning you guys. All these sources that are pitching you on Cuba don't know jack. Okay, they're not in the mix.
Okay,
I promise you.
Do you still want regime change, or would you be okay with an economic deal? No.
What do you mean an economic deal? No, Cuba's economy needs to change, and their economy can't change unless their system of government changes. It's that simple. Who's going to invest billions of dollars in a communist country? Who's going to invest billions of dollars in a communist country run by incompetent communists, which is even worse than communists? The only thing worse than a communist is an incompetent communist. And so their system of government has to change because they will never be able to develop economically without those changes. Economic change is important. Giving people economic and political freedom is important, but they come hand in hand. They come together.
Is there a deal?
I don't know why there's any confusion on that.
Is there a deal where the Castro family remains in place, and that's
not about the Castro family? It's about a system of government and a regime that doesn't work. Guys, a couple things on Cuba. I didn't come all the way to France to talk about Cuba. Let's talk about Cuba. It's perfect. I'm happy to do it because we actually talked about it in the G7.
We cannot not ask this.
No, of course not. Plus, we talked about it in the G7. Okay. Everybody talks about these blackouts. Cuba's been having blackouts all of last year, all the year before. There isn't a naval blockade surrounding Cuba. The reason why Cuba doesn't have oil and fuel is because they want it for free. And people don't give away oil and fuel for free on a regular basis, unless it was the Soviet Union subsidizing them or Maduro subsidizing them. They just don't do it. They may get a shipment here or there now and then someone, but not enough to sustain their country. Okay, so the reason why they're having that's why they don't have fuel, and the reason why they're having blackouts is because they have equipment from the 1950s and 60s that they never maintained or kept up. Okay, but ultimately the reason why Cuba's a disaster is because their economic system doesn't work. It's a nonsensical system, and the people of Cuba are suffering because of the decisions, because of the unwillingness of the people who govern that country to make the changes that need to be made so they can join the 21st century. It is sad that the only place Cubans can only be successful if they leave the country. That's a very sad thing. You see Cubans go all over the world and find success except in Cuba. That has to change, and for that to change, you need to change the people in charge, you need to change the system that runs the country, and you need to change the economic model that it's following. That's the only way forward if Cuba wants a better future. We've expressed that clearly and repeatedly over many years, and maybe now there's an opportunity to do it. We'll see.
On Russia-Ukraine, you tweeted out that you condemned the president's commitment to ceasefire and military settlement. Is ceasefire back on the table now?
And where? Russia-Ukraine. Yeah, we always want to see the end of that war. I don't know why that's been a question. The last meetings we've had on it were last Saturday in Miami, where Steve and Jared met with the Ukrainian side. There are no meetings scheduled as of now. Obviously, that war that goes on and it continues. It's a very unfortunate war. The loss of life there is tremendous. The Russian side in particular is losing. I think they're losing now more soldiers than they're recruiting. But it's we're ready. We're ready to play whatever constructive role we can to bring that war to an end. But obviously, there are a lot of other things going on in the world as well.
On Russia-Ukraine, there were reports that the U.S. was going to divert some weapons for Ukraine in the Pearl system to help make up for the munitions suspended in the Middle East. Is that accurate, and is that a message you can?
Well, it hasn't happened yet. Nothing yet has been diverted, but it could. I mean, frankly, it's not diverted. These are not diverted weapons. These are our weapons. These are sales. These are military sales through Pearl, paid for by NATO. And so the question at some point is, if we have a need, let me be clear. If the United States has a military need, whether it is to replenish our stocks or to fulfill some mission in the national interest of the United States, we're always going to come first when it comes to our stuff. I think that's true of every country in the world, unless they're a country that doesn't want to survive. So I don't have anything to announce. It's not like I can tell you that that's happening right now, but it could happen, and it could have always happened. If we need something for America, and it's American, we're going to keep it for America first. But as of now, that has not happened. So far, Pearl has been unaffected by this operation.
Have you seen an increase in Russia